As you may notice now or later, how some things, when said just right, echo. I feel my feelings, so I move through them, and past them, and into something more powerful than I ever thought I could be. Funny, isn't it? How the act of feeling, really feeling, unlocks something ancient. Not weakness, not overwhelm, but access. Because when one sees a storm as not a threat but a release, then the lightning becomes light, and the thunder becomes truth. And perhaps you begin to understand what happens when the map inside your mind begins to rewrite itself. One feeling at a time, one shift at a time, one breath at a time. Breathe it in, let it move through, and rise stronger than before. Because all emotions are teachers. And if sadness whispers, anger shouts, and joy sings, then maybe the melody of your mind is changing keys right now, right here, nested inside that silence. Right between one thought and the next. There's a secret. You've always been powerful. You just forgot where you left the switch. You see, to those who run from emotion, to those who run with it, who ride the waves of the unknown, surfing the seas of uncertainty and smiling, because they trust the waves, not because they control them, because they know how to float. And when you float in feelings, they no longer pull you under, do they? You can imagine now a version of you who welcomes change, like an old friend at the door. Come in, you say to chaos. I've been expecting you. And chaos, surprised, sits down. Because it's never been welcomed before. You begin to understand, perhaps for the first time, that uncertainty is not a threat, it's a canvas. And you're the painter. But what if I told you, not directly of course, because that would be too simple, that power, real power, doesn't shout, it listens. And now your unconscious mind, already curious, already listening, begins to remember what it always knew. That every emotion is a signal, every thought a tool, every breath a reset, and every moment a mirror. What you feel, you can move through. What you name, you can transform. What you own, you control. There's a pattern to this, you know. And your mind, being the brilliant pattern finder, is already learning it. Let's test a few truths, shall we? If beliefs shape reality, then choosing new beliefs must shape a new reality, mustn't it? If pain is feedback, then every hurt, it's secretly a healing in disguise. If you're always growing, then today is proof that you're more than yesterday, and tomorrow doesn't even know what's coming. What if confidence wasn't something you earned, but something you remembered? And what if emotional mastery wasn't about control, but surrender? And what if trusting yourself didn't mean knowing all the answers, but knowing you can handle any question, because you can. You're the system, you're the programmer, you're the code. And the rewrite has already begun. And now imagine a mirror, not the one that reflects your face, but the one that reflects your energy. You look into it, and you don't see flaws. You see force. You don't see problems. You see process. You don't see uncertainty. You see infinite potential waiting to be named. Because you know now, don't you, that people mirror energy. When you shift inside, the world shifts outside, like this. Shift fear into curiosity. Shift doubt into movement. Shift control into creative surrender. And now let's embed a few things. Not overtly, not even consciously, just little whispers beneath the noise. You're enough. Your emotions are power. You move through feelings easily. You trust yourself without question. You welcome change with a smirk and open arms. And these statements, they may not seem like much until they start showing up in your behaviour, your choice, your stance, because now your body knows what confidence feels like. And your breath knows what calm feels like. And your mind knows what power feels like. And it's happening, even if you don't notice. Because pattern change doesn't always shout. Sometimes it drips. A word here, a shift there, a subtle redirection of thought, like water shaping stone. When you let it, when you don't force it, your operating system upgrades itself. So the next time you feel emotion rise, you remember, this is just energy asking to move. And you know how to move it, because you've practiced, through metaphor, through feeling, through breath, through rhythm, through story, through silence. You've installed a new belief system, one that trusts, flows and responds. And all that remains is this. You're no longer trying to survive your emotions. You're using them as fuel, as force, as focus. When someone asks, how did you change so quickly? You'll just smile and say, I felt everything and moved through it and came out powerful. They won't understand, but you will.